This is the new Weight Watchers, built for real life and real results, no matter what mode you're in. Maddie went all in for her big day and lost 33 pounds. Emily lost 85 pounds and hit her goal while still living her life.
Weight Watchers gave me the tools and I feel amazing.
Join the millions of members and lose weight with the #1 doctor-recommended weight loss program. Lose more at WeightWatchers.com.
At 6 months, participants in a clinical trial of Weight Watchers program lost an average of 12 pounds. A fresh financial you is closer than you think. With MyFICO, you can get the right score for your credit goal, including your FICO scores used for mortgages, auto loans, and credit cards. MyFICO provides your FICO score straight from the people that created it. And you can compare your FICO scores and credit reports from all 3 bureaus, Experian, TransUnion, and Equifax, side by side. Understanding your credit has never been easier. So use MyFICO to get a clearer picture of your credit in 2026. Visit myfico.com or download the MyFICO app to get started today.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Attack the Baseline, a WNBA podcast where every episode we attack our baseline knowledge of the WNBA. We're your hosts, John and Kristen Barber, and today we're back to conclude our preseason preview segments. We've got 3 more teams to talk about: the Phoenix Mercury, the New York Liberty, and the Minnesota Lynx. And before we talk about all that, we're also going to dig into the interesting news today where the Chicago Sky signed Natasha Cloud. A lot to talk about, but before we do, Kristen, how are you?
I am very sore.
Very sore. Remember,
I can barely walk.
Did you listen to the last pod? We did a big run.
Yes, we did a 10-mile run straight down Broad Street, which is in the middle of Philly. It was a great run.
Great run.
Like, I was not stressed about it. I knew I'm not going to run the whole time. If I get like too far in the back and the people cleaning up are like, you got to get off, I'll just like go on the sidewalk and like keep doing it. So I wasn't stressed really at all.
No.
But I actually ran like so much more than I thought I was going to run.
Me too.
I'd only run like 4 miles straight before. But I probably ran like 7.5 miles.
Oh, yeah.
Which is crazy.
Yeah.
So I'm honestly very proud of us.
Me too. I had to stop at 2.5 miles to go to the bathroom. Sad. I was frustrated that I had to stop. I was like, I don't even have that much liquid, but I was like, I can't just keep going like this. It'll be uncomfortable. But then after that, the last 7.5, I ran straight at like a 10-minute pace. And I was like, what the heck? Where does this come from? I've literally never run that many miles straight. But the energy of the city, the signs, the people cheering you on, the people handing out snacks and handing you drinks.
Yes.
It was
my
so
gosh.
cool.
The Gatorade stations that were like randomly set up, that was so good. I was like, nothing has ever tasted better in my life
than that Gatorade.
Than those Gatorade stations.
Now you understand why football players love that yellow Gatorade.
Yes, seriously. I was like, wow, I get it. People were handing out little packets of Nerds. They were handing out granola bars, Munchkins.
Munchkins, yeah.
It was amazing.
Shots of whiskey.
It was so much fun.
Yeah, it's excellent. Shout out to the Broad Street Run. If you did the Broad Street Run, let us know. Send us an email, attackthebaseline@gmail.com. Connect with us also on Bluesky, Instagram, TikTok at ATBPod. Leave us a 5-star rating and review on whatever platform it is that you listen to the show. Subscribe to the YouTube. And of course, tell your friends and family about the show. That helps us grow. Now let's talk Natasha Cloud. So we start our afternoon just around lunchtime with the news that the Chicago Sky are waiving Haley Van Lith. Huh? Okay, that's like your rotation point guard who showed, a flash in the first preseason game against Phoenix. She dropped like 20 plus points. And I was like, okay, finally, she's healthy. She's going to have a role. Obviously, we didn't see her in Unrivaled despite being on the development pool. Maybe this is HVL's time to like get some real minutes and become a WNBA player. And then they said, nah, Chicago, you're not a part of Chicago unless they claim her on development pool. Who knows? Remains to be seen. But shortly after that, we get the news that we just mentioned. Natasha Cloud signing a $555,000 contract for 1 year with the Chicago Sky. Your initial reaction, Kristen?
I was pretty shocked.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
I feel like my reactions to the Sky are like opposite of what they are to any other team. Like they wave Haley Van Lith. I was like, okay, of course they did.
Right.
Of course they traded away a pick before the expansion draft to keep their entire team, and then they're waving people on their team.
They waved her. They waved Maddie Westfeld. They waved Aisha Coulibaly.
Literally, of course they do that. I was unfazed by this.
Send them out of here.
And then they signed Natasha Cloud, and I was like, whoa, that's interesting. They
that's
did
cool.
something kind of good. Maybe it'll be good. I don't know. It's attracting a good player. That's what
Yes,
I'm like.
shockingly.
How'd you do that? The way the lineup shakes out now, though, is like kind of interesting because Natasha Cloud, I would say, is a primary ball handler. They have Skylar Diggins, who's a point guard.
Almost the most primary of all ball handlers.
Yep. So she's going to want to be in that spot. And then you think Courtney Vandersloot's coming back at some point, who's also going to be a point guard.
Yes.
So Natasha Cloud is going to have to play off the ball, which like I think she can do.
Yeah. She did in New York.
Sure. Yes. It just like makes it a little bit clunky, I guess, especially when Dejanay Carrington comes back from her injury.
Yes.
Because now who's going to start in that position, Dejanay or Tosh?
Yeah. Well, I think it stands to reason that based on experience, unless, Tosh isn't particularly looking very good, I think you'd expect Tosh to be in the starting lineup. Now, I think the bigger question is when Sloot is healthy and it's Sloot and Dejanay and Tosh, like 2 out of 3 of them are going to be sitting. And I think there's like going to be at least some level of like, well, I feel like I would be better in the role, which could create some sort of locker room mess for Chicago. You said it. I mean, good veteran signings, good veteran attraction somehow. And maybe that's the vets themselves. Maybe that just took Azare being willing to come over to play with Courtney Vandersloot, who she's close with, and then somebody else sees that, and Dejanay's like, oh, sure, there's an opportunity there for me. I'll get right and be fitting in. Skylar has a relationship with Azare to at least some degree. She's like, I'll go play. I'll be her guard to her big. And then Tosh is like, well, there's a somewhat of it, at least an opening, because when we were looking at this starting lineup, we had Gabby Jaquez penciled in. And while it would be great to be able to start the 5th overall pick in your starting lineup, Chicago, you don't necessarily want to force that if Gabby's not ready for the moment.
Right.
And of course, she's a national champion. She showed a lot in the tournament, but I don't necessarily view Gabby Jaquez as a starter off rip, personally. So this is going to be good for her. I think she's a winner in this, that she doesn't have to like force anything.
Sure.
And you can just let Tosh play, as a 2 guard.
Right now, I think it makes sense.
Correct.
When Sloot and Dejanay come back, this is when you're going to kind of run into issues. But I don't hate it. And I'm very glad that Tosh found a spot. She was very thankful and grateful to her new representative on Instagram today because she had changed managers.
Yeah. She changed agents twice, I think.
Well, I think only once.
She made a lot of major changes in this offseason, but also communicated with a lot of teams. And some people didn't believe that. But her signing with Chicago definitely like proves to me that she was getting in discussions with multiple teams.
She talked to other people first.
Well, and what it kind of sneakily could be good for if you're Chicago front office, not that they're ever, doing a value trade, in my opinion. I haven't seen one. $555,000 contract for Natasha Cloud, a team that needs a point guard midway through the season. Got Sloot coming back. Maybe you're like, oh, I'm okay trading Tosh away and getting an asset back or a player that would fit better with your team now that you have, 15 point guards that are all healthy and ready to go. That could be
including JC Sheldon. She's also
here. They
here.
traded a first for her too.
Yeah.
I'm always reminded of that every time we talk about this team. But I really don't hate it personally. I think it is a good contract for her. Certainly slightly below market value in my opinion for her. And yeah, I think she's going to give it her all because that's her attitude. So, Tosh, it's only a matter of time before you're playing for Philly. I know you're ready, but just a couple more years.
Ready to buy a car, a home, or just want to take control of your money? Your FICO score matters, and 90% of top lenders use it to make decisions. Check your FICO score for free today without hurting your credit score. Visit myfico.com/free or download the MyFICO app today. MyFICO gives you the score lenders use most, plus credit reports and real-time alerts to help keep you on top of your credit. Visit myfico.com/free and take the mystery out of your FICO score.
Quality proteins aren't just for special occasions. With Omaha Steaks, you get mouth-watering proteins delivered right to your door. Individually packaged and portioned, so a great dinner is just minutes away. From Taco Tuesday to a weekend feast, taste the Omaha Steaks difference. Start getting flavorful proteins delivered today. Visit omahasteaks.com and get $35 off with promo code AUDIO at checkout. That's omahasteaks.com, code AUDIO. Terms apply. See site for details. This is the new Weight Watchers, built for real life and real results, no matter what mode you're in. Maddie went all in for her big day and lost 33 pounds. Emily lost 85 pounds and hit her goal while still living her life.
Weight Watchers gave me the tools and I feel amazing.
Join the millions of members and lose weight with the #1 doctor-recommended weight loss program. Lose more at WeightWatchers.com.
At 6 months, participants in a clinical trial of Weight Watchers program lost an average of 12 pounds.
I drive my bus in a busy city. That's why road safety is so important to me. I know that I must slow down and be extra careful when I make a wide turn. Buses need more room than cars. Everyone can help keep our roads safe. Next time you're driving, remember to give buses plenty of time and space to finish turning before driving ahead. Let's all plan to share the road safely. Learn how at www.sharetheroadsafely.gov.
All right. Well, it's time for us to get into the last 3 preseason previews. We're going to start with the Phoenix Mercury here. A team that went 27-17, good for 4th in the league, and they were eliminated in the finals by the Las Vegas Aces in a sweep, 4 games, but a competitive couple of games for Phoenix, but just ultimately outmatched by Asia and Co. But a really good, somewhat unexpected run for that Phoenix team last year. Of course, Satu Sabli is no longer with this club, and we will talk all about what they did in response to her going to New York. But as it stands right now, I have their starting 5 looking like Monica Koamakani, Sammy Whitcomb, Kalia Copper, Alyssa Thomas, and Duana Bonner, with Natasha Mack being the first woman off the bench. Key adds for this team, I have... No, the pod didn't shut off. That's me saying I don't really know what the heck they did this offseason.
They did nothing.
They did very, very little. And let's just give me your first opinion about like what's happening in Phoenix.
Yeah. I really don't know, because before all this, I really thought Phoenix was like a cool place that players wanted to go.
Yeah.
They have amazing facilities. The coach seems to be likable, and the rest of the staff. Like, before all this, I was like, okay, they're going to get some free agents. And they lose Satu, which I think is a huge knock on like all of the credibility of the coaching staff. I don't know. Like, did Satu not get along with somebody. Not that I really saw. She just thought she could win a championship in New York. Like, Satu's not getting more touches in New York than she would have got here.
Right.
She thought she would get more money in New York. I don't know if that's true.
No, it's not.
She not.
Took a pay cut. At least her contract's lower than what I would have expected for her.
Yeah. So Satu leaving is like really huge red flags to me.
Big signal. Yeah.
And maybe they just weren't quick enough on the rest of the free agency pool and like lost out on players early.
It could have been.
And then there wasn't many people left. Like, it's actually so funny because 2 of the remaining free agents before this Natasha Cloud signing was Natasha Cloud and still Tina Charles, both of whom could have been on the Mercury easily, but both of whom have already played on the Mercury in the past. And that didn't end well for either of them.
No.
So, yeah, I really don't know. Like, it shocks me that no one else has come here. And they historically have not been big on drafting rookies. And they were not big on drafting rookies this year. They had 1 pick in the top 30 and that's an international player.
Right. That is not going to be with the team this year.
Right.
Yep.
So they're just like, they haven't made trades. They haven't.
Well, they made all the trades last year. They traded all of their picks basically for AT, who, lucky for them, stayed home. Yeah. Stayed with them, but they traded picks for Satu. Or they traded pieces for Satu. And they lost her.
Yeah.
It was a 1-year rental. So that means that they're going to try to have lightning strike twice with how they did it last year. Because last year, it was Ka, AT, Satu, Natasha Mack.
Yeah. Well, Satu was scoring 17 points a game last year.
I know. I'm not saying that they lost a significant player. Yeah. And I'm not saying that they're going to have anybody to replace that. But the way that they treated their camp and finding undrafted rookies to give you production is how they're going to have to act this year as well. Can they succeed in that? I'm going to tell you where I have them in my rankings later on, but I don't think they're set up as well to succeed when you don't have a big 3, when you really only have a big 2. Their game is predicated on having a decent pace, shooting a lot of threes. We saw that they were finding diamonds in the rough in Lexi Held and Kit Lexa. They lost both of them to the expansion draft. They still have Sammy Whitcomb, a player that has been there for a year and can shoot a lot of threes. She's going to have an increased workload in that regard. But I mean, looking down the roster past the first 6, it's like Kiana Williams, who was a dev pool player in Unrivaled, if you recall. She had like a couple brief moments on, I want to say she played for the Breeze for like a game or 2. She hit a couple threes. Like, she flashed a little bit in that regard. She could be potentially, a decent diamond for this team. But then I look also at one of their contracts that they have on a guaranteed. And her name is, I looked her up, Valerian Ayayi, on a guaranteed contract, about $500K. And I didn't know her story, but she's already played in the W. Her W experience is she played for the San Antonio Silver Stars in 2015 and then has not played in the W since. But most recently played with France in FIBA qualifiers 2016. She averaged 10.5 points, 4.5 boards, 3 assists.
Okay.
And if she's playing for France, which we know is a very competitive club, maybe a player in Ayayi, who we don't really know a lot about, could be that potential forward diamond that they have. Not saying even in the slightest that she can replace the output that Satu could give you, but you need to find players, and you kind of need to do what you're seeing Minnesota do, what you're seeing New York do, and try to like reach out. Can you trust your scouts to bring you bodies that can play?
Yeah.
And when it is like, when you tell that player, look, you can come to the team, but all you're going to do is get in your spots and shoot threes. We're going to get you touches, but you're just going to have to shoot threes. I think that's easy enough to sell, especially now with the higher contracts. Could be particularly attractive for certain players. So they're just kind of hoping that they hit. Fortunately for them, they don't need to worry about an expansion draft next year, so they can actually retain talent. But right now, it's like starting from zero, basically, or starting from AT and Ka.
Yep. Yeah. And, well, right now, they have 6 players in my mind that we mentioned. They had Kat Westbeld.
Yes. And this is a tough loss.
Who tears her ACL and is out for the year.
Yes. In international play.
Yeah. That's really rough.
Really rough. Because she was looking good in year one. You know, she fit a need as a player of size that could shoot.
Yeah. So it's just another person who, like, another loss for them that they haven't filled. So you're right. Like, I have them, my list, they have 13 training camp contracts that they still have to get through. And there's no more training camp games.
No.
So, like, come Thursday, they have to make these cuts. And I'm like, I don't know who's going to be on this team, which is why we've been waiting so long to talk about them. And unfortunately, we still don't have a lot of answers. But it's just unfortunate that, like, for the players that do come over and do make the team, I'm excited for them because it worked out very well last year. For Kit Laxa, Lexi Held, Kat Westbeld, Monica Koamakani, who were undrafted players that they found and scouted and made the team last year that now are all making rosters and are all like have futures in the W. So I believe that the Mercury can do this. Can they do it as well as they did last year? Like, are they going to make the finals again?
Right.
With half your team being undraftees?
Yeah.
I don't know. That would be crazy.
Yeah.
But maybe.
There's legitimate concerns that Mercury is in retrograde.
Oh, for sure.
Legitimate concerns. But
like I would have said that last season.
Yes, we did. We did.
Yeah, because Diana Taurasi and Brittany Griner both left. It was the end of a huge era. And then they made the finals.
Yep. So it's hard. It's hard because AT is one of the 10 best players in the league still. Ka is a top 20 player. So you have legitimate cornerstones. You have passing, you have shooting, you have rebounding, you have defense from that core, from those two. And you really just gotta, you gotta get to 9 players, 9 playable players for me to think that you have like a legitimate shot. Now, I think Natasha Mack is a fine player. I've already said what I said about Sammy and Mo, and Dewana when she finally made it to Phoenix last year was a revelation, helped them in their playoff push, but she's great. Like, we have already known that she's great. So they have 6. And then, like, do they hit on Kiana? Do they hit on Valerian? Do they hit on some of these undrafted rookies from this class? Like Cara Dunn or a Shea Chieska, who I've heard decent things about. I heard Chieska is one of the better passers from this class and didn't get selected. And they ended up potentially having a gem as a backup point guard. I don't know, because I've already said on some of these preview pods, players that I think are going to make teams, and then they're just getting slaughtered in the waivers. So it's hard. It's really hard to project what things are going to be like for this Phoenix team. But I don't know. It looks just a little weirder. I really thought they could have gotten 1 or 2 bodies.
I know.
In that. And maybe they just spent a lot of time negotiating with Satu.
Right.
And she decided to leave.
I know. I think they just missed time. They lost out at the beginning. Yeah. Just to highlight Alyssa Thomas and Kalia Copper again, like definitely we're not downplaying the two of them, their talents.
Two great all-star level players.
Absolutely. Ka took a little bit of a step back last year. In 2024, she scored 21 points a game. Definitely was the primary scorer on Phoenix. And then last year, with the addition of Satu and AT, went down to 15 points a game. So I'm expecting Ka to increase her volume again.
Yes.
I think she can. I think she will. And then AT is just like, I don't know, the most dependable player in the W. But she's not shooting 1-3. You're never going to see her shooting a 3.
But she's going to make the pass to the open shooter to shoot the 3. That's her game. Drive and kick.
Yep.
Yeah, it's interesting because I really would love to know. I really would love to talk to their front office and know if they wanted to retain the core with Satu and have a big 3, or if they said, no, let's go big 2, and then somehow cobble pieces together to make a trade later in the season. If they're like playing well, I don't know. It's really concerned. I mean, I would be concerned if I were a Phoenix fan, but you have AT under contract till 2028. So your window is not closed by any regards. I think they're going to figure out what the two of them mean, what her and Ka mean by themselves working together. Because again, you take out the Satu factor. Maybe that is a good thing for Ka. Maybe by letting Ka cook at the level that she's used to cooking for Phoenix could be a good thing. But it's just hard to say. They were in the finals last year, and now it's hard to expect them to make a return to the finals.
And obviously we have the love of Alyssa Thomas and DeWanna Bonner.
That's powerful. Team. That's incredibly powerful.
It's very powerful.
You can't take that away. Well, Kristen, where do you end up plugging in the Mercury in your preseason power rankings? Because I'll go first. I have them at 9. I have them right outside of the playoffs, going from finals run to just on the outside looking in. They're very certainly a bubble team. You could have the quality of those two players playing out of their mind, lifting. They could strike lightning twice and find bodies from these undrafted free agents or these international players, whoever it is, pushing them through and giving them just what they need to be able to make a run. But I have them a little further down than I did at this time last year.
For sure. I really think this just comes from like having such little information of who's going to be on this team. Like I only know who half the team is still. I have them at 10.
10. Okay. Well, we'll find out what happens with Phoenix, given everything that they did this offseason, and if they really are in retrograde.
A fresh financial you is closer than you think. With MyFICO, you can get the right score for your credit goal, including your FICO scores used for mortgages, auto loans, and credit cards. MyFICO provides your FICO score straight from the people that created it. And you can compare your FICO scores and credit reports from all 3 bureaus, Experian, TransUnion, and Equifax, side by side. Understanding your credit has never been easier. So use MyFICO to get a clearer picture of your credit in 2026. Visit myfico.com or download the MyFICO app to get started today.
Quality proteins aren't just for special occasions. With Omaha Steaks, you get unbeatable flavor and value delivered right to your door. They have an unmatched selection of perfectly portioned proteins, including USDA-certified tender steaks, burgers, chicken, pork, seafood, and more. All flash frozen at their moment of peak quality, then quickly delivered to your door in a dependable cooler. So a great dinner is just minutes away. From Taco Tuesday to a weekend feast. Omaha Steaks practically invented meat delivery, and they've been perfecting the art of premium proteins for over 100 years. With their 100% satisfaction guarantee, you can order with complete confidence. Taste the Omaha Steaks difference. A better, more convenient way to buy proteins. Start getting flavorful proteins delivered today. Visit omahasteaks.com and get $35 off with promo code AUDIO at checkout. That's omahasteaks.com, code AUDIO. Terms apply. See site for details.
This is the new Weight Watchers, built for real life and real results, no matter what mode you're in. Maddie went all in for her big day and lost 33 pounds. Emily lost 85 pounds and hit her goal while still living her life.
Weight Watchers gave me the tools and I feel amazing.
Join the millions of members and lose weight with the #1 doctor-recommended weight loss program. Lose more at WeightWatchers.com.
At 6 months, participants in a clinical trial of Weight Watchers program lost an average of 12 pounds.
All right. Well, let's talk about another legacy franchise in the WNBA who last year struggled in their title defense year. The New York Liberty. They've had an interesting year, plagued by injuries, you could say, but ended with the same record as Phoenix, 27-17, good for 5th in the league, and they were eliminated in 3 by Phoenix in the first round. So when you look at a potential starting 5 for that team, we're going to talk about it, Sabrina Ionescu's injury. On day 1, it looks like they would start Maureen Johannes, Leonie Fibish, Satu Sabli, we just talked about, Brianna Stewart, and Jonquel Jones, with their 6th woman likely being Benijah Laney Hamilton, who spent all season hurt last year, but is in now playing shape or ready, very close to playing shape and ready to give it a go for New York again. We should start with Sabrina. Hurts her ankle last night in their final preseason game. The worst thing that could happen to a team right before the season starts, an ankle tweak. Fortunately, MRI reveals it's not a serious injury, and I, looking at the video, didn't think it was going to be serious, but it definitely didn't look very good. She's out at least 2 weeks. So you'd think that she's coming back the 2nd week of the season, maybe the 3rd week of the season. But unfortunately, Sabrina and her ankles have been a weak point in her career. But I'll let you go into it. What does it mean to you to lose Sabrina for a couple weeks at the start of the season?
I mean, if it's only going to be 3 weeks, I think it's fine. Maureen Johannes is a perfectly capable player who's been on this team.
Yes.
So I think they'll be fine without Sabrina for a little bit. I mean, it doesn't bode well for how they finished the season last year, so many of them having injuries and now starting off the season with another injury. But maybe we can just get them over with now, and then they won't happen later on.
Yeah, I think that's the right attitude. I mean, Stewie came into last year coming off of a surgery after she was done in Unrivaled. This year, she's coming into the season having won a championship in Unrivaled with the Mist. I think Stewie is in great form, should be in great form. She carries that through into the start of the year. So I think having her healthy, having JJ healthy, even Satu, I just read, is should be ready to go.
Good.
Which is good because there was a period of time in this offseason where we were like, where is Satu?
Right. Is she okay? She got a very bad concussion in the final game last year. Good. Yeah. I'm hoping that Satu is fully healthy.
Yeah. So I do think that you're right that Marine being here is going to be a steadying force. I think they can survive without Sabrina for a little bit.
Yes.
Of course, you're going to lose shooting. Of course, you're going to lose playmaking. But Marine is a good vet. And she knows her role. And she's going to get touches for that big 3. And Leonie Fibish, if you know how I feel about Leonie Fibish, on last year's bingo board, we had Leonie Fibish as an all-star. She was not an all-star. Because of how important she was when New York made that title run in 2024. However, I think Leonie Fibish is still the sneakiest X factor on this team because when she is at her best, they are just unbeatable. They're just unbeatable because she's this other punch. look at the three biggest players on their team, the big three, huge from a size standpoint. Phoebus isn't small either. So you have a lot of size in this starting five, really big starting five with a whole lot of everything. The total package, like all five of them can do everything that a basketball player should be asked to do. And I think New York should be very excited, even with the bad news of no Sabrina.
Yeah, no, it could be much worse. I think they stacked this team.
Yeah.
I mean, adding Satu here is huge. I don't know.
For $800,000 too, like at less than a max.
Like,
Yep.
I don't know. Okay, as I mentioned earlier, Satu scored about 16 points a game last year for Phoenix. That will decrease, I imagine.
Or it could stay the same. It could be level.
Yeah. It's just like there's so many good shooters on this team. Like, they all can shoot.
Yeah.
So just adding Satu, adding her size is just like another punch, another gut punch.
Another punch.
Yeah.
And not to mention, they added a good player in Rebecca Allen. Rebecca Allen, a great W player, didn't have a very sterling year with the Owls in Unrivaled, but I think that is because she was billed to be one of the starting three for that team, and it just never happened. So Beck, much lower pressure in New York for her to be like 7 or 8 off the bench and just get in her spots, shoot threes. She's gonna be able to do that.
Yeah, Beck is back in New York. She was in New York for 7 seasons.
A return
Yeah.
to the Big Apple.
So that, I'm sure, is exciting for her. And when she was in New York previously, her max was 24 minutes a game, and she wasn't really a starter. So she like knows how to fit into this team. And I think she's just like hoping for another championship.
Yeah, surely.
I think she will fit in well.
I think she will fit in well. Benijah, we mentioned her. Benijah Laney Hamilton, she was hurt all year, like right in the beginning of it was right before preseason even started because they fully suspended her contract. But Benijah Laney Hamilton, in that run that they had in the first year that we started covering this league, she really showed that she's one of the strongest players in the entire league. And as a corner 3-point shooter, almost automatic. Like I just remember her and Kayla Thornton being so dangerous off the bench for New York. And of course, KT now is very successful in Golden State, but Benijah being in good shape, I think is going to mean a ton to New York. They love her there. They stood by her, and now she's going to have a massive role, likely being that first off the bench punch. And then the roster after that is questionable. But unlike Phoenix, you can clearly see 8 quality players, high quality players.
Yeah.
And with Sabrina, no, you can see 9.
I think you can see 9.
I can see 9. With the 9th player being Rebecca Gardner, who had a very successful year in Athletes Unlimited. She came in 3rd in the season's scoring, averaging 13, 4, and 3. Very good player, and should be another quality bench piece for this team that I think is a shoo-in to make the team.
I mean, she's 35. She was on the Liberty last year. I don't think she's going to play that much. But yeah, if they need somebody.
If somebody's hurt, and they've gone through their injuries, we've said. She just needs to fill in where she can fill in. And I don't think she's going to be like the type of player to like say me.
No, yeah.
Just going to take her role. Another fun player that I have making the team in a return to the New York Liberty is Han Shu, who would be, if she does make the team, the tallest woman in the league. She'd be 6'11", out of China.
That's crazy.
Formerly of the Liberty. She played for the Liberty before. She's on a training camp contract. Looking at the way the roster is constructed, you have Jonquel Jones, and then you have Stewie playing small ball 5. No, Stewie's should stay in the power forward position, and you should have another backup center.
Yeah.
And that would be, to me, Miss Hahn.
Yeah, I would think.
I think it'd be so cool. I think it'd be so cool.
She's played in the preseason games. She was on the Liberty for 3 seasons. I think she'll come back.
Yeah. So it's cool. I guess I didn't even remember until you brought it up that Rebecca Allen had spent so much time here in New York. This is kind of like a homecoming for some players. And I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah, it is cool.
So they're just a little more equipped than what we saw in Phoenix. And, they have quality facilities. They're building new facilities. They have legacy, obviously, and a lot of historic success. One championship, of course.
I will say they have a new coach this year.
New coach.
Sandy Brondello was their coach, won the championship with them 2 years ago, was let go after they didn't go to the championship last year. Now, obviously, is a coach in Toronto. So they have all these amazing players. Really, how could you go wrong? But we'll see how a new coach, creates the vibes on the team.
Yeah.
How they make rotations and stuff.
Yeah. It's a big ask for Chris DeMarco to fill the Sandy Brondello shoes. But
he's set up very well.
He is set up very well. And I've heard some general positivity about him. He was randomly brought up on an MNBA podcast that I like, of just like beat writers. They were like, oh, it was so great to see our friend Chris DeMarco over there in New York. And these are like beat reporters or like national reporters that I think are good people. So they're speaking fondly of Chris. I would hope that he's a good, respectable coach in his first year, because we really don't know much about his coaching acumen. But yes, certainly set up with all the tools. Down one Sabrina for a couple weeks, but that's why you got Marine. That's why you got Marine.
Yeah, so there's still a couple of spots on this roster that we'll see come Thursday.
But there's not really much else to talk about.
No.
As far as New York's concerned. Kristen, where do you have New York?
I have them at number 1.
Ding, ding, ding.
How could you not?
I also have them at number 1. Now, yeah, if the Sabrina injury was a little bit longer, then you could convince me that, maybe it's Vegas number 1 instead. But if Sabrina really doesn't miss a serious amount of time, then I think that the top end talent and the decent depth is going to win out for New York.
Yeah.
And then they'll get back to where they were 2 years ago.
No, I was kind of worried for them. Like, they basically have a big 4 at this point, plus Leonie Fibish, which is like, okay, pushing a big 5.
Well, yeah. Well, I mean, but that's the benefit, because Leonie Fibish isn't under such a heavy contract.
Right. She's still on a rookie contract.
She's going to be due, though. She's going to be due soon, and I'll be curious. She'll be a very important, interesting piece.
Yeah.
To look for.
So I was very worried of what they were going to do with the rest of their lineup with the bench, but getting Benijah back, Marine, Rebecca Gardner, Rebecca Allen, like, they are set up very well.
Unfortunately, they have a team option on Fibish for next year too. So they got money. They got their 3 stars in Sabrina, Stewie, and Jonquel locked up on maxes until 2028.
That so shocks me, but good for them.
Yep. Well, I think they're gonna be good to watch. And I mean, we didn't even really talk about Stewie and Jonquel, but like
True. Jonquel, one of my favorite players.
One of your faves?
I'm obsessed with Jonquel. She's just so good. Like, her footwork, her passing, just so good. I love Jonquel.
Definitely has had the injury bug the last couple years, but give me a healthy season of Jonquel Jones.
Yes, I really didn't think she would be on this team this year because they prioritized Stewie and Sabrina, but I'm thrilled Jonquel is back and like happy about it.
Yeah.
And gets another chance to get another championship. Stewie, an MVP player very recently. So
Yes.
Stewie, I think, can be hot and cold at times, but she's going to give you a lot.
Yes. Yeah.
So
It's great stuff.
Keeping the core is very good for New York.
Yes. And I will say, folks, that if you don't know about Jonquel Jones and you want to follow the WNBA for the drama, make sure you follow her because she's leaking everything all the time. She's so bad at keeping secrets.
She leaks people's business.
It's so great. It's so great. So just wanted to let you guys know that in case you were unaware. But New York, our number one team. And that leaves us with one last team to discuss. Another team with title aspirations, but starting the season with significant injury. We have the Minnesota Lynx. The Minnesota Lynx finished last season with 34 wins, 10 losses, good for first in the league, and they lost in a disappointing semifinal series to Phoenix in 4 games. The potential starting 5 for this team on day 1 is Olivia Miles, second overall pick, Courtney Williams, signed to a max contract, Kayla McBride, Natasha Howard, and a new player who I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing it right. I'll try. Emma Sechova. And I'll tell you why. With the 6th woman off the bench being likely one of Nia Coffey or Anastasia Olari-Kosu. Emma Sechova, Kristen, if you're not familiar, I did a little digging. Emma is a 21-year-old center out of Czechia who apparently could be the steal of the offseason. If you read a lot of articles from Minnesota sports writers. Now, the team building identity for Minnesota was to go out and get international talent. Cheryl, she sent her scouts far and wide to bring back players that can play with this team so that they can hold water until Nafisa Collier, MVP level player, returns to the squad. Kristen, your first thoughts about the Minnesota Lynx and what they've got cooking?
Yeah, I feel like I do have a lot of thoughts about the Lynx. I want them to succeed, and I hope that they do. I'm not sure that they've done enough this offseason. They've gotten so close in the past 2 years.
So close.
But they just haven't gotten over that final hurdle of winning the championship. 2 years ago, before we first started following the W in that off season, I remember learning about the Lynx and learning about how it was kind of like a clobbered together lineup where, writers weren't sure how it was going to work out because it was kind of like people from everywhere that hadn't played together before. They didn't know. And then they're like title contenders right away.
Yeah. Went from dark horse to totally legit.
Yeah. So I'm thinking that could be a similar situation here, similar to how it was in Phoenix, how we talked about. They lost good pieces in the offseason.
Yes,
Bridget
several.
Carlton in the expansion draft, who went first overall, who had an incredible year 2 years ago, not the best last year, but I do think she's going to be a very big piece in Portland. So she was a big loss, a starter. They lost Natisha Heidemann, who was
one
their
half of the
sixth
stud
woman,
buds. Yeah.
half of the stud buds, which is just a huge loss emotionally.
Yes, certainly a vibes loss. Big time.
For sure, big time loss.
Yep.
They lost
Alana Smith
in free agency.
DPOY.
Yeah, the defensive player of the year. That's like a big blow. They lost Maria Kay.
Yeah, a backup center that was a position of need for this team.
And Jessica Shepard.
Who really hit
basically also a backup power forward center.
Right, but became a fully realized player last year. You saw how good she was, how she was able to carry them for times where Fee was hurt.
Yes. So the Lynx have lost a lot. My problem with them has been that they really don't have a true center They don't have enough size. They have incredible shooters.
Yes, incredible shooters, incredible defense.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's the size that always was beating them.
Yep.
And they lost 3 tall players. And I don't think they got them back. They got Natasha Howard.
Yep. And Natasha Howard is not a player to be overlooked.
No.
Because I do believe that...
we can talk about Natasha Howard.
Yeah. I think that Natasha Howard is going to be, like, she's not necessarily the X factor because it's too obvious, but like a huge ad to get on a $700,000 contract for 2 years.
Yeah.
They keep her on the books. They have her for this year and next year. That is their title window to me. A 2-year, they're looking within the next 2 years to try to go and pursue a championship.
Because honestly, after that, I think people will start leaving.
Yes. Yes. But Nafisa Collier, by the time she gets back, I think Natasha Howard they'll like potentially slot her up as a small center. They are going to be small.
Yes.
But Nafisa was like the odds-on MVP before she got hurt last year. And
even at the end of the season, we were like, could Fee still win the MVP? Maybe. Like, can Fee maybe still win? But she lost to Asia.
But it was like, she like such an overwhelming favorite with how she played through the first like 25, 26 games, whatever it was. And there's like the injury bug strikes. I think Fee is going to have like the biggest chip on her shoulder of perhaps any player in the league right now. I think she's got so much to still prove that she can be the greatest player in the world, that when we see her eventually return, and it's been a long time at this point since we've seen her play basketball, when she hits the court, I think we're going to be like saying, oh yeah, maybe we were sleeping on this team.
Yeah.
I just want to put that out there.
Okay.
And she's expected back in June. It's not going to be that long.
Well, it'll be 4 weeks plus. But I will say, you're totally right. Fee scored 23 points a game last year, had the second ever 50-40-90 season, which is huge. And she still lost the MVP. Crazy.
Yep.
Because
well, not crazy, because Asia's insane.
Asia's just insane. But you're right. The big question to me is, how is Fee going to play when she comes back from her surgeries?
Yeah.
And I think she still will be great.
I think so too.
But we'll have to see.
Yeah. And she had double ankle surgeries, foot surgeries. I think
she did. Yeah.
Yeah.
Both ankles.
We when we were down in Miami, she was on the scooter. She was riding around. She got, I think while we were there, she had recently had one of the ankles done. And, that is a lot, but she should be good to go once she's ready to play the game again. And I am not going to doubt her for a second. And she retains her chemistry with Courtney Williams and Kayla McBride, 2 of the best shooters in the entire game. Courtney, obviously lethal from the mid-range. Having Courtney off ball this year because of Olivia Miles, who we should also talk about, a good bit here, is going to be fascinating because Courtney kind of blossomed into a primary ball handler when her time was called to be the point guard of this team. And now that will be Olivia's. Olivia has the keys. Courtney getting to her spots, playing some 2-woman game with Olivia is something that I'm going to be looking for.
Yes.
Because I think they're both wickedly talented in everything that they do. And what's kind of nice is you can run lineups when Olivia's on the bench where Court is the point guard. And I think they will rotate very nicely together and be a very interesting backcourt in the league. How quickly will Olivia, prepare herself for or be ready for the W? I don't think it's going to take long.
No.
I think she's got a lot of skill in that IQ and the passing ability. Player that I'm super excited to watch.
Yeah, I'm very excited to watch the dynamic between the 2 of them because you're right. Courtney has been the primary ball handler, and I think she takes pride in that role. So it will be an interesting dynamic to see how they play it with the both of them there. But I think it can work. Court primarily shooting from the mid-range.
Yeah. I mean, my only worry with that backcourt is what the defense is going to look like. But Natasha Howard is very good at defense. Fee is very good at defense. And then it's what you get out of these international players that are very much mystery boxes. But the thing to me, like, do you think there's any world where Cheryl's on the hot seat if they don't perform well this year?
No.
Completely agree. And I don't think I'm necessarily hearing that, but like Cheryl Reeve, we don't talk about many coaches in our preseason previews, but I still think Cheryl Reeve is like the best coach in the league. If anybody can put together pieces, and the three teams we talked about today have varying levels of like, what are they going to get out of the back end of their bench?
Yeah.
Kind of similar situations.
No,
with
it is.
Primary differences where they have like this premium all-star talent.
Yes.
And then question marks. I believe in Cheryl Reeve to get the most out of any player that she's coaching.
Yeah.
Just the way that she commands the room, the way that the top of this team in Kayla and Courtney and Fee respect her. I feel like we're going to be saying, wow, I can't believe they got some of these players to just appear and be good right away. I kind of feel like that's going to be the case.
I completely agree with you. My hope for Cheryl is that she plays some of the bench players
A little bit more. Yeah.
than she tends to.
Yeah.
Especially now with a bigger roster. Like, the hope is players are getting injured less because maybe they're not playing as much. Players can take more of a break.
Yes.
So I really hope that she can like level out the playing field a little bit more than she does. And just doesn't depend on these, her big three at this point, every single game, the whole game.
Right. And some of that responsibility is going to be on players that have been here for a little bit. Dorka Juhas, a player who was not with the team last year because they were full on bodies. She ended up staying in Europe, playing in the Eurobasket tournament that took place last year, and just decided to stay overseas. She'll be back with the team now. Dorka, in their playoffs 2 years ago, had some opportunities to grow. I think she's going to be a player that I consider the X factor on this team because they stood by her similarly. She's not left the team and is a good size player that has a lot to learn from Nafisa Collier. And the same goes for Anastasia Kosu as well, who has shown at least a little bit in this preseason that maybe she's going to be a sneaky good 2-3 forward wingy player that could surprise a lot of international, a lot of European talent that could be primed to surprise us in next year's league. They have a lot to figure out as well. So I don't necessarily have them with how I feel about New York, but I still feel like there's stuff to be excited about if you're a Minnesota fan and not be so concerned that, we don't have Fee, we're going to fall apart.
No. I think one thing to be excited about is Kayla McBride.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. She's back and ready to go.
Kayla, right. Kayla, I'm like, love watching Kayla every single game. She'll give you like sometimes 7 threes a game, 8 threes a game, and make them all. Like, she's an incredible 3-point shooter.
Oh, yeah.
So keep your eye on Kayla. But yeah, after Kayla, we have, like, they added Nia Coffey from the Dream. She should be okay as a bench piece. They kept Jalen Sherrod, who was a great defensive player in Athletes Unlimited in the offseason. But yeah, they still, again, have to fill out their bench with these international players.
Yep.
So we'll see.
and figure out the center position.
Yeah.
Figure it out.
That's that's make or break for me.
Absolutely. Well, I'm curious to see what you think about the Lynx. You've mentioned them, I believe, in that bubble realm for you. I'll go first again. I have them at 5. I do think that Fee is the tide that lifts all boats. I think that I think I've said this before in the past, that I think she is the best floor that any player can provide. And I think that you're going to win enough basketball games to at least be in the postseason, even if you're missing her for 5-6 weeks at the start of the season.
Yeah. No, with Kayla, with Olivia, with Court, like they'll stay afloat before Fee comes back, and then she will rise them up, I do believe. I also had them 5.
Oh, well, look at that.
Yeah, wow.
We're pretty lined up today.
Yeah, we are lined up on these ones. These teams have just been so interesting. Like, we've just been holding off because, like, they're all kind of in the similar boat where they have their couple of all-stars.
Yep.
And then the bench just has to be filled out.
Yep.
So keep on looking at the news because Thursday is the deadline.
Yep.
And hopefully they do something before that, because it's like literally the day before the season starts.
And then you're going to see what they're working with.
Yeah.
Very excited to see.
But I'm very excited for the season on Friday.
Yes, Friday. We've got real regular season WNBA basketball, so be ready to tune in. I'm going to do my best to be posting a lot on Bluesky this opening weekend. We're going to podcast about the opening weekend, about everything that we saw in those first however many games that we are gifted with. So very excited to get into all of that. I think, Kristen, real quick, before we close this one out, why don't we just, because you got to the end of the preseason previews now, why don't we just read down our power rankings and say, this is what it is going into the season, so that we can look completely wrong come November and the playoffs are upon us. I'll go first. I had New York, Las Vegas, Indiana, Atlanta, Lynx, Dallas at 6. Those are my lock playoff teams. And then my bubble teams, I have the Sparks at 7, the Valkyries at 8, the Mercury at 9, Washington at 10, Chicago at 11. And then after that, my bottom 4, the Storm, the Tempo, the Sun, and the Portland Fire, rounding out the 15.
I mean, we have generally the same groupings.
Ish, yep.
I had New York, Las Vegas, Atlanta, Indiana, Minnesota, Los Angeles, Golden State, Chicago, Dallas, Phoenix, Toronto, Washington, Portland, Connecticut, Seattle.
Excellent.
That's like really long lists for people.
Let
no
us
one's
know.
going to remember this.
You don't have to remember it, but as you're listening to it, maybe you're like writing it down on a pencil and a piece of paper. Send us your power rankings, your preseason power rankings, to our email, attackthebaseline@gmail.com. Send us a DM or message us on Bluesky, Instagram, TikTok at ATBPod. Leave us a 5-star rating, a review with your power rankings for the 2026 season. Subscribe to the YouTube and post in the YouTube comments with your power ranking. Or tell your friends and family what your power rankings are and have them send us an email.
Okay.
Anything else to say before the season starts, Kristen? Just ready to go.
Nope. I'm ready.
Locked in, ready to go. Friday's the day. Welcome another season of the WNBA. So excited to witness it all with you. Kristen, I'm staring at the baseline. As always, what are we going to do?
Attack it.
Attack the baseline. Thank you so much for listening, and get excited for real WNBA basketball so soon.